All right, so back in on this Garrard Zero 100. I've been working on this thing for a couple of days and a couple hours a day. So here's, I think I've got it figured out. So what was happening was as the tone arm was reaching the dead wax right here, it was getting scooted back and then lifting up and then returning to the tone arm post. So what I think the problem was, I did have to rewire this tone arm, and so the wire goes all the way up this way, and then goes down. You can't really see it behind this plastic part into this section right here, and it's soldered to the leads, which make contact with the cartridge like right under here. And so at first, those were really tight. I didn't give myself enough slack. So what was happening was it was giving pushback. So there wasn't enough room for this sled right here to move as freely as it needed to be. So I think that was one of two, half the problem. The other half the problem is like there is a little washer and a small little plastic retaining nut underneath this decorative little plate. I had that cinched down pretty tight. So it just needs to be tight enough to keep this from falling down. It doesn't need to be like super tight, and so it needs to move pretty freely. Any kind of like extra resistance on these tone arms, it causes like either the tone arm to get stuck, or like with this one, like it keeps getting pushed back. I had a similar problem with one of my other turntables, and what I got too fancy with it, and I put some shrink wrap around the wiring, and so that had come undone and it had bunched, and that was keeping the tone arm from moving forward, and so it was stuck on the groove, and it keeps repeating. So I think I have this guy dialed in. I don't have it set up to, I don't have it running through the receiver yet, but we've got this 45 on there, so we're just going to make sure that the auto fit feature works, and this should set down right there. Cool. And we're going to let this guy run for a little bit. It's only one song on this side of the 45, so let it run, and then we're going to see what happens when it hits the dead wax. All right, we're going to see if it jumps a little bit, not jumps, but gets picked up a little bit early, because the groove for the song goes a little bit further in than like on the 33 that's on there below it. So we're getting close to that inner groove. So it should be tripping the auto return. There we go. You just set your happy ass down, turn off. Good deal. All right, cool. So I think now I'm just going to hook this up to the receiver and make sure that the aftermarket stylus isn't a piece of shit, and run this guy for a couple of days and see if it's good enough to rehome. Cool. Fingers crossed that nothing else is going to pop up on this one, because I've gone in on this guy for a couple of different issues, a couple of different times. So fingers crossed. And now I can move on to the next turntable. See you later.